my privilege to introduce our class speaker, Marco Masciulli. Marco grew up in Northville, Michigan, attending Orchard Lake St. Mary's, graduating from Central Michigan University in 2009. He's volunteered for several political campaigns and served at the Attorney General's office as Special Assistant to the Attorney General. Many of us were introduced to Marco our 1L year when a professor could not pronounce his last name, simply calling Marco. He was quick to respond, Polo. Marco has always had a way of lightening the mood in the sometimes stressful environment that is law school. He's not one to shy away from the struggles he faced over the last 3 years, but having known Marco since the beginning and truly being able to call him a friend, I can attest to the tremendous amount of personal growth he has undergone. It is truly my honor to introduce our class speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Marco Masciulli.
Thank you, Alyssa, for that lovely introduction. Dean Howard, Chairman Haley, Justice McCormick, distinguished members of the board, Judge Barry, faculty, staff, administration, friends, family, and classmates. Growing up, we all heard that phrase. You can be whatever you want to be. Well, at times we may have questioned the veracity of that statement. Never has it stood more true than as it stands today. Because for the last 3 years, each and every one of us spent every minute of every day driven to be one thing and one thing only. Done with law school. So congratulations, my friends. Or should I say my fellow Juris Doctors. Many of us were warned before we came to law school. Law school is hard, there's a lot of reading. It's a risky financial decision. But we came here anyway. When we got here, those voices of doubt didn't disappear. They became louder. Professor Barnheiser's contract scores became, "What the heck were you thinking, Alan?" He would graciously remind us that statistics show that half of us won't get jobs, and those of us who do won't make that much money. While he may have been joking, kind of, we knew that there was truth in what he was saying. And despite that, we continued our pursuit. And in that pursuit, we encountered great difficulty and challenge. For some of us, we began to hear those doubtful voices coming from within. Am I good enough to do this? I'm not smart enough. I'm not disciplined enough. And looking back, those voices may have been right. Many of us weren't good enough, weren't smart enough, weren't disciplined enough. But that didn't mean that we couldn't be. Professor Callan described law school as a challenge. Not one that was greater than you, but one to which you were equal. Well, it was in that challenge that we became good enough, we became smart enough, and we became disciplined enough to earn this moment. This wasn't given to us. We earned this. But being good enough wasn't predetermined. It was self-determined. And while we know that self-determination is the reason we sit here today, we know that we would not be here alone. So to the faculty, staff, administration, thank you for your dedication to us, the Law College, and the legal profession as a whole. You have made each better. And to our friends and family, thank you. While your sacrifice and patience won't put your name on any diploma, our names would certainly not be on one without you. As I stand here today, I'm reminded of something else Professor Barnheiser said during that first year. He was explaining this time that first year of law school rips out any and all hope that you came with. But he said that by the end of our third year, that hope would be fully restored and much more deeply seated. I know if Professor Callan were here, he'd hear that and say, "Oh God, why don't you just stab me? What does that even mean?" Well, I once read that having hope means having hope means not giving in to an overwhelming anxiety, a defeatist attitude, or depression in the face of difficult setbacks or challenges. Hope is more than a sunny view that everything will turn out all right. It is believing that you have the will and the way to accomplish your goals. The hardest test we faced in law school had nothing to do with the law. It tested our will. It tested our resolve. And in passing that test, our will and our resolve became stronger. And we're going to need that moving forward, because more challenges await us. A difficult bar examination, tumultuous job market. It's going to test our will. It's going to test our resolve. But don't lose that hope. Know that you have done it before, that you can do it again. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself, and most importantly, if you let yourself down, forgive yourself and keep going. Because today serves not only as a celebration of this accomplishment, it serves as an affirmation that each of us possesses the will and the way to do what we want to do and to be who we want to be. So congratulations, Michigan State University, College of Law, class of 2013. We've earned this moment. Now let's keep going and let's earn more. Thank you.